Hello everyone, my name is Mr. M. Today, we're going to learn how to determine the behavior of graphs within intervals and their end behavior. So go ahead and complete this intro activity. Identify the coordinates of each turning point here on the graph. Be sure to pause your video while you're doing it. Come back once you're done to check your answers. So the answers are, that's point A, point B, point C, and point D. I hope you got them all correct. Now let's go over with the key concept or the guiding rule, how to identify or tell the behavior of a graph within the interval. First thing we should remember is it's like reading a book. What do I mean by that? You have to read the interval from left to right, okay? And then write x values as intervals. So we're going to use bracket and a parentheses. It depends on the situation. You're going to see that in the model problem later. And the last one is you read the y values, and that will tell us the behavior of the graph within that interval. It could be increasing or decreasing or constant. Let's take a look at the model problem. So we're going to use the same graph that we did in the intro activity. So we are going to determine the behavior of the graph, which is the intro activity, within intervals. So we have the segments here, A to B. So from A to B, again, the guiding rule is read from left to right. So from A to B. There you have it. So what's the interval? The interval is writing the x values. So I have -4 there, comma, -1, right? But since the circles or the points are solid, the circles are solid, that means these numbers are included in the interval. So I'm going to use bracket. So what is the behavior of the graph within this interval? Take a look at the y values. It's -3 and +3. So what's going on? From -3 to +3, it went up, right? So therefore it's increasing. There you have it. Now let's have segment B to C. Let's clear this up. Reading from left to right, so B, C. Alright, now what's the interval? Again, interval, you take the x values, right? So -1, comma, +2. Now, since this is on point B, it's a solid point, right? It's a solid circle, that means -1 is included, so we're going to use bracket. But take a look at point C. It's an open circle, so therefore this 2, x value 2, is not included. So I'm going to use a closed parentheses. Now let's tell the behavior based on the y values. It's +3, then 0. So what happened to the number? +3, 0. It went down. Obviously on the graph, it went down, right? So it's decreasing. Easy? So far so good? Alright, now let's have C to D. C to D. Let's clear this up. Let's read from left to right. C to D. So our values of x are +2 and +4. I'm going to write down +2, comma, +4. Again, going back to the kind of circles or points you have, this is open circle. That means I'm going to use parentheses here. And D is a closed circle. That means that point is included. So I'm going to use bracket. So what is the behavior of the graph? If you follow the graph, it's from C to D. It's increasing, right? And also, on the y values, 0 to +2, that's increasing as well. So we're going to write down increasing here. So when do you say it's constant? If the graph is horizontal, let's say for example the graph looks like that, and then it went up. So from here to that point, this is constant. This is increasing, constant, increasing. Now let's focus on end behavior. When we say end behavior, we're focusing on this part of the graph and this part of the graph. And we're going to focus on the arrows on both ends. Right? Obviously, this part is the right side, the right end. Where is it going? It's going down. Now, how do you write this in symbol? It says as x approaches. What do we mean by as x approaches? You see, when you say to the right, you're following the x values, right? To the right, that means the x value, all right? And where does it end? As x approaches infinity. But what kind of infinity? That's positive infinity. Right? But it's going down on the right side. So that's the y value, which is negative infinity because it's going down. In other words, this symbol represents right. And this symbol represents it's going down. Got it? So, as x approaches positive infinity, y approaches negative infinity. That is on the right end. Now let's take a look at the left end. So left is going to that direction, and that is negative infinity because it's to the left. This is as x approaches negative infinity, what happened to the graph? It goes up, right? So what is the symbol when it's going up? It's positive infinity. Positive infinity. There you have it. Now, let's put them together. It says here, therefore the end behavior is as x approaches, I'm going to copy this part, positive infinity, y approaches negative infinity, and as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches positive infinity. So in this generalization, we describe the right side first and then the left. Now you can also describe the end behavior here by starting with the left end and then the right end. What do I mean by that? You just simply switch this. So I'm going to write this first. So as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches positive infinity. And as now this the blue, which is the right side or the right end, positive infinity. As x approaches positive infinity, y approaches negative infinity. Now it's your turn to practice. Go ahead and identify the coordinates of the turning point. Then the intervals, the behavior within intervals, A to B, B to C, and C to D. And finally, the end behavior. Okay? Be sure to pause your video while you're doing it. Come back once you're done. Thank you for watching and learning with me. Be sure to click the links below inside the description box for additional resources so that you can practice and learn more. Please take care of yourself and each other.